Well, hello, everybody. It's Dennis and Andy with your movie review for the week. We went and saw last night the movie Trap. M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dongs. I shouldn't say that. People actually think that's his name. M. Night Shyamalan. New movie. This is the second one for the year because I think there was the one that came out just a few weeks ago where it's those people in that mirrored one-way mirrored room in the woods. I can't remember the name of it, but we never saw it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we did not get a chance to see that one. Unfortunately, life gets in the way of watching movies.
Life, the many vacations you take, things like that.
Yeah, life. Yeah,
Yeah.
life.
So Trap stars Josh Hartnett, who is you've seen the trailer. He's the bad guy. We're gonna do our non-spoiler, and then we'll jump into the spoiler side of things. But Dennis, give us the lowdown on what Trap is about.
Well, this one, it's Josh Hartnett. He plays a father, and he takes his teenage daughter to attend a pop concert, only to realize that they've entered the center of a dark and sinister event. And what's the sinister event? They're looking for, it's a big trap, and they're looking for the serial killer called the Butcher. Only to find out, because this is not a spoiler, this is the whole premise of the movie. Josh Hartnett is the Butcher, and he needs to get out of there with his daughter unscathed. So how can he avoid this dastardly trap that the FBI has set in motion?
Dun dun dun. So the movie starts off nice and sweet. They're getting out of the car, going to see this concert. You see as the concert rolls on, he sees all the police, and like Dennis said in the trailer, you find out he's the guy. That's how they get you into the movie. I will say, that you need to do that in the trailer because you want people to go see the movie. But I got to be honest, if I just went and saw this movie and didn't know that Josh was the butcher, the killer, I think that would have been cooler. I think they could have done the trailer and not given away that he was the butcher, and I probably would have still seen it. Hard to say because that's a different world that didn't happen. But even in the beginning of the movie, when it started, I was just when they got out of their car in the parking lot, him and his daughter, I was like, man, I already know he's the killer, though.
But see, if you don't know it's him and then you find out, it more or less becomes a mystery, like a murder mystery, and then it unravels to find it. This is not a murder mystery at all. This is literally a thriller, because what they need to do is, on this one, I love what they actually kind of did was, that he is the killer. And
no, but what I'm saying is
building suspense.
Just let me clarify real quick. What I'm saying is the movie's not rewritten in any way. It's the exact same movie we saw. It's just the trailer doesn't give away that he's the killer.
But see, that is what intrigued people about this movie. That's actually what made us want to see it in the
Okay. Well, anyhow, so back to it. I see your point. I mean, that's what made me want to see it. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, he sees all the cops, he sees the FBI, he's getting curious, like what's going on. He asks, once again, this is in the trailer, he asks this guy that's working at one of the t-shirt sales places, hey, what's going on with all the police? And the guy, very jovial fellow, likes his job selling t-shirts, really like the guy. Actually, for a little bit he was on screen, is like, oh, they're looking for the serial killer, the butcher, and they got a tip that he's here. So it just really amps up the stakes.
Yep. Yeah, it does. And it's cool because once he realizes it, the entire thing is about, oh, okay, They think they've cornered me. I'm going to get out. And he's so cool and calm about it, which is so awesome. And then, he's very smart. He's very out there, and he's able to penetrate, walk right through the police and stuff. And then he starts realizing it's not just the police after him. It's the FBI, and they've got a ringer of some sort in there, and she's a profiler, and she understands his whole train of thought and everything, and he starts realizing it. And you even see in the trailer like some of the close-ups of his face and his eyes twitching. This is where the movie shines, is because Josh Hartnett has almost like, it's like, think of dual personalities. He is truly the father that's there with his daughter, trying to give her something amazing and enjoy it. And you've got his other persona, and he's feeling like the walls are starting to cave in on him. And the close-ups and everything that we get to see of what's going through his mind and how he reacts is fantastic.
That's really, what I was going to say. The little intricacies in his facial expressions in those close-ups, his eyes, his mouth, just everything. They're small, but they're great. And that, I think, is why acting you always hear, oh, all they have to do is memorize lines. How hard can it be? And yeah, for certain movies, you can tell that's what they did. But when it comes to this type of stuff, these little nuances, that's where you really sell it. And I think it was important for Josh to do that because he's known as a good guy. I can't think of a movie he's been in where he was playing a bad guy, a villain.
No, he's usually is a good guy.
Right. He's usually he's a good looking dude. So the hunky lead good guy, but not in this. And I think he sold it so well. And I thought the movie had a really good pace to it. It didn't slow down. It wasn't like super fast. It didn't buzz along, but there weren't any like low points where you're like, oh, can it pick back up at some point? So I thought that was good. I thought the girl that played his daughter was just fantastic.
She was, and there was a lot of snickering or a few comments throughout the movie, and we had a good size audience in there,
yeah.
And there were spots where we all were making comments, and I'm laughing because Ariel Donahue, the girl that plays Riley, I mean, it just took me back to me taking my daughter to shows and stuff,
yeah,
and the screaming and she knows every word, and she's looking at the stage, and I was like, yep, she was fantastic playing Riley. And then the show that they go to see is Lady Raven, and it's played by Salika Shyamalan, obviously M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. She's got a great voice. She's, I guess, kind of known as a singer, she's plays an actress who becomes very involved in the role of this big concert. She's in, with the FBI stuff on it, and it's great. We will delve into all that in the spoiler section, though.
All right, well, then let's get to that and grade this puppy. It's your turn to go first. I remember I went first last week with Deadpool because you said, oh, you gave it higher than I did.
Yep.
So.
I thought this was a solid movie. I enjoyed it. I thought the acting was great. I loved all the characters that were in it, just about. There were a few missteps, I think, or things that I wanted to know more about that didn't get answered. But the suspense was there, the thrill, the heightened tension. I enjoyed this. I don't know if I would go out and buy this one in 4K to watch it in the future, but it was definitely a good one to see in the theater. I'm giving it a 7.0. I think it's worth a watch, worth spending the money on a ticket for.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We are tied up. I'm giving it a 7.0 as well. It was a good thriller. It's not a horror movie. I actually told my daughter I think she would have enjoyed it. She didn't go see it because she thought it was like a horror movie. And even before I told her, I said, it's not, it's a thriller. But was this rated R? I meant to ask you that.
I think it was
I think
13,
so
PG
too.
13. Yep.
Okay. I thought so because
That's
God,
why
I
they
don't
didn't
even
show
know.
anything.
Did they even do their one F-bomb you're allowed to do in a PG-13? I don't even
No,
remember.
there was very little cussing, if
There was
anything.
no blood, no violence. That's not what the movie is. It's not him killing
No.
people. It's just it's a trap. And how does the mouse get out of the trap? So I give it a 7.0. I mean, if you want to wait, it doesn't need to be seen on a big screen. But the nice thing about a big screen is for those close-ups of Josh Hartnett and the nuances, those are good. But who doesn't have a big TV these days? What are we looking at for IMDb, Rotten Tomato, and all that stuff?
So IMDb is giving it a 6.2. And the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics did not like this movie. Not a shock. It's a 47. Critics did not like
Wow.
it. That is not. This
That's
is
low.
not.
That's
47.
way too low. If they came in at a 6 or 6.2, I'd be like, oh, okay. But less than a 5, yeah, that is way too
Yeah.
low.
Movie critics again. So the average audience, like us, gave it a 68. So they're right in ballpark.
All right, guys. It is spoiler time. If you don't want to hear spoilers, thank you for watching. Every Friday we drop one of these. Like, subscribe, and share. And check out the DNA show every Wednesday at 3 p.m. where we usually have a guest. All right. We are back for the spoiler section. Dennis, I'll let you take it away. And I'm sure I'll think of extras, spoiler stuff, but I don't really know what I want to give away. So you go right ahead. And
well, I'll tell you the one thing that I wanted to know more about, and this is why I didn't give it. One of the reasons I didn't give it a higher grade
his
is
sex life. Dennis, not every movie you need to know the character's sex life. Jesus.
You get introduced to this profiler, and it's Dr. Grant, and you know she's an older lady. She's been around the block. She has solved 10 of these cases. You find out in there, and you're like, okay, so throughout the entire movie, and whenever she's on the screen, there's this instant buildup of tension. He's got music playing. There's everything when she's on the screen, and you're like, oh, this is important. And she's always looking or doing, she's predicting what he's doing. There has to be a connection somehow, some way. And why, who is she? But we don't find out. She winds up being a 2D character card that is just a profiler who's good at her job. And they built up so much that there was something special about her that you figured it would have a tie-in somehow to Cooper and his family. Cooper is Josh Hartnett, or his, wife Rachel, played by Allison Pill. And I was just like, there's got to be something there. I can't wait to see what it is. And it never materializes.
I kind of wish they would have. It's kind of in the same regard. I kind of wish they would have built up why she is so. Well, she solved 10 cases with 10 different serial killers. Is obviously what they're alluding to. So this is the next one. So, I mean, I can see getting a little more build up, but I guess because they said she solved 10, it's more just like there's no deep connection. It's just she's the best profiler they have. I will say this, nothing against the actress. I don't think she is somebody I was supposed to recognize. But when you first see her, she gets out of a car and it's a low angle shot, and then it pans up and it's a back shot of her. And my first thought was, oh, I wonder who they got to play the profiler, because they did. They made it to be like this mystery until you finally see her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then you finally see her. And once again, nothing against the actress, but correct me if I'm wrong. It's not anybody big. I didn't recognize her as anybody.
No, I know her from like Parent Trap way back when.
Yeah, but that's just it. It
isn't anybody.
Right. And I kind of felt like they missed an opportunity. And, there's always budget constrictions, but I think it would have been cool if they could have got somebody that when you finally saw her, you're like, oh, that's cool, But at the same time, the actress did a fine job because I didn't recognize her. So I wasn't like pulled out of the story in any way, like, ooh, it's Julia Roberts or whatever.
Well, again, I thought she was great. I liked what she
Yeah.
did when she was in there. She fit it. And I just wanted there to be another level of connection to him somehow. And then I guess the same goes true with Salika Shyamalan. She's got a great voice. The stage show singing, it probably would have been a decent concert in real life.
Oh my God, you started singing along, and I'm like, Jesus, Dennis, stop it. Actually, the funny thing is the 14-year-old girl that played his daughter, she was so excited and so giddy and screaming and singing along. I leaned over to Dennis and I said, this is you at an Iron Maiden concert. I know it. You're just like singing along.
And I do sing along, so
I know.
That is true. But Salika, I think her singing was great. Her stage performance was great. The problem I have is later on, she becomes an integral part of the story. And, it's part of the FBI operation. She's in on it. This whole concert was a trap to bring him out. And once she gets heavily involved with it, her acting is fine, but there was something missing. It didn't ring home. It didn't hit a home run with me. Yeah, it was maybe a ground ruled single, maybe a double, that came in there. It was fine, but I think that part of it, there was just something missing, and I was a little let down. Again, I like the twist because it's an M. Night Shyamalan. He always likes to have these little twists, and on this one, I liked the twist. And a lot of it was kind of predictable. These weren't like, whoa, I didn't see this coming. But, the twist when it was on there was very grounded. I enjoyed where they went with it. And I thought it was a cool twist in what she did. I just didn't think she hit a home run bringing that whole probably third act together.
Oh, see, I mean, I don't strongly disagree, but I didn't have a problem with it, I guess, is like, I didn't walk out of the movie and that didn't ring anything in my spider sense. That I told Dennis that I guess the problem I had is once you heard the profiler break down the profile of who they were looking for, I was like, so wait a second, you're looking for a male that is anywhere in his 30s to, 40, 50s, that is white, black, Asian, whatever. We don't know. Okay. So there's 3,000 dudes. You find out, they do the breakdown and it's like there's 20,000 people here. That means there's X amount of this and X amount of this, which leaves about 3,000 males that fit our profile. We will check everyone when they walk out that door. And I'm just like, your profile is basically, are you a dude above 30? That's your profile. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I've seen movies with profilers and they usually narrow it down more than that.
Right. Well, he's got a tattoo on his wrist of an animal. That's about the
that was I mean, right there. They knew that and they showed it, and he put a band around his wrist so people couldn't just and it wasn't huge or anything. It was just an outline too. It wasn't like this big colorful thing. You'd really have to look for it. But I'm like, okay, so during the movie, they're literally showing cops pulling guys out of the audience to go interview them and stuff. Well, if he has a tattoo like that, just look at his freaking wrist. Why are you pulling these dudes out? But then another thing is Josh Hartnett is walking through this stadium. Not that he has run-ins with the police. He has a couple, but overall, he's walking through and he sees them and they make eye contact and stuff. And not once they think like, well, that guy meets our profile. We should probably nab him now. I mean, I'm like, maybe all the police don't have the profile. Maybe just a few of them do. But I'm like, if you're looking for specific people, there's this dude by himself. There are times he's walking through the arena by himself because he leaves his daughter, because we're not going to spoil everything. He has stuff. He's trying to figure out how to get out of the trap. And I'm like, well, if I'm a cop and I know the profile of somebody 30s to 50s, could be white, black, whatever, and I see this dude by himself, I would probably not wait and probably radio in like, hey, we got somebody that fits the profile. At least do this. And then Hartnett would see that and be like, oh shit. And I don't know. So that it's not a major criticism, obviously, but it was something that, like Dennis said, with the third act and the singer, his radar went off. Mine went off with this.
So, and like I said, it's a lot of little things. He has a run-in with Jodie's mom. It's one of Riley's little friends from school. They've had some falling out. She's hurt her feelings, and they hook up multiple times during the movie, and they're building up like, oh, maybe there's something more. And all of a sudden she's like, oh, don't patronize me. I have a dark side. And we're kind of
she became a Karen, dude.
She did.
She went never go full Karen.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they built it up multiple times through the movie. Then they show a cool cut scene where she sees Riley on the stage and the daughter gets all upset. She's jealous. She starts screaming at her mom. So again, we've got this build up, and I'm like, this is a fun little side plot thing. And then it ends. I'm like, there was no real payoff with her seeing him on the screen. I wanted some closure on that little part too. So overall, like I said, this was a good movie. It's just he was missing a few elements to make this a great movie.
Yeah, but overall, I think M. Night Shyamalan, he's had some misses lately. I think this one's more of a hit than a miss. So go check it out. And of course, check out KOR-DRATH, A Christmas Miracle children's book. That's right. Dennis and I are crafting a children's book featuring KOR-DRATH and Adriana just in time for the holidays. It will be shipping in November, so have no fear. Get your order in. You'll get it in time. It is crafted for early readers, and if you're a parent and still read to your young child, you can read this book to them. It is definitely kid-friendly, drawn in a simpler style. We do have 26 backers. Let's get to 30 backers in 3 days. I know we can do it. It's 24 pages. We're also doing an activity book. So if you want to get your little one off the tech, get them some crayons. The whole story's in black and white with the text so they can still read it. And there's going to be connect the dots, word searches, crossword puzzles, and more. So check that out. And we're doing an adult version. That's right. On the left, you see how KOR-DRATH interacts with the bear. It's so sweet, teaching your kids about kindness. On the right, us adults know if you get confronted with a bear, there's only one thing you do. You eat your Christmas cookies for power, and you take the bear out. There will be lettering on all the pages and, text to read. It's just some of this stuff we left off because it is kind of humorous, and we don't want to ruin everything. We have a 3-pack, save $5, get all 3 books, or you can order them individually. Simple campaign, no add-ons, because we covered it all with these tiers, and to make shipping easier on us for Christmas, that's why we did it. So go check that out, guys. Link in the description below. And of course, there is KOR-DRATH, The Awakening, the big bad booty daddy. KOR-DRATH is back with Adriana as their quest for these ancient artifacts continue as they realize these are the key to saving the Shattered Reach. But Vordoom the Undying also wants these artifacts. So he sends out a legion of the undead to Adriana's tribe to try and take everybody out and get them and stop them. Necronite and Lilneth are involved as well. An exciting 64-page graphic novel. You've got preview pages here you can check out. New monsters are created for this. New thrills, new adventures, new characters. We are so close to unlocking the first stretch goal. of the Vordoom playable character card. What is that, you say? Well, Dennis is back with a new game, role-playing game module, taking you back to the old days of Dungeons and Dragons. This is something you'll want to get, especially if you got the first one. Get this one and play the game. It's a totally different story. Use the KOR-DRATH characters. Use your own characters as well. Bart Sears and Dan Lawless on cover art. Again, we're doing a CBCS graded book this time, guaranteed to be a 9 or above. Every book we've done so far has been a 9.4 or higher. We even got a 9.9 of KOR-DRATH The Reckoning. These will be signed by Dennis and I, and we will ship them out to you nice and sturdy. Stretch goal, Vordoom playable character card. And then we've got some great add-ons, KOR-DRATH The Awakening, the layouts. That's right. I'm scanning all my pencils before I do any inks so you can see the creative process. Take a peek behind the curtain. Manga version, color digest version of KOR-DRATH The Reckoning. We edit it to make it for everyone. And of course, KOR-DRATH The Reckoning role-playing game figures, the standard 2-inch, 24mm size, 3-inch and 5-inch of KOR-DRATH that you can get, and the collector's box if you don't want to get the Awakening tier, which includes everything. We made the box an add-on as well. So guys, go check this stuff out. We'll be back next Wednesday with Christian Black from the Black Cast, talking Deadpool Wolverine, and we're talking spoilers, baby. We are doing full spoilers, so hopefully you've seen the movie. You can join us and chime in. Tell us what your favorite parts were. We're holding nothing back. That's 3 p.m. next Wednesday. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and make lots of money. That's what I hear when I hear prosper.